Power outages can happen at any time, without warning, and can leave your home powerless for days. Hilscher Clark has partnered with Generac to bring you the #1 selling home standby generator brand, engineered and built in the USA since 1959. With a home standby generator, your home will never lose power again. Generac generators activate automatically in the event of any power loss and restore power to your home within seconds. Don't leave your home unprotected. Trust only the best. Hilscher Clark's residential division are experts in their profession and go above and beyond to provide you with quality, efficient service at a fair price. Starting with the estimate, they keep you informed regarding status and completion of your projects. They also give you shorter arrival windows and send you email and text confirmations of your scheduled service appointment, as well as notifications when their electricians are on their way to your home. Hilscher Clark's Google reviews speak for themselves, with more than 270 reviews and 4.9 stars. And if you've just recently purchased an electric vehicle but don't want to rely on public chargers to keep your battery full, Hilscher Clark has all the juice you can handle for your home vehicle charging needs. Hilscher Clark is a certified Q Merit Solutions partner, making them market leaders in electrification and recommended by local dealerships. Visit them online at www.hilscher-clark.com. That's HILSCHER-CLARKE.com. Or stop down and see them at 519 4th Street Northwest in downtown Canton. Or contact Hilscher Clark today at 330-452-9806. That's 330-452-9806. Remember, it's your home, it's our family. Trust only the best. Hilscher Clark. Welcome into the Washington Square Winking Lizard Wednesdays at the Wink with SMG Network live streams powered by TKDS Sports and our good friends at the Walsh University. Walsh University Athletics, make sure to download the mobile app, Google Store, Apple Play, wherever you get your mobile apps, make sure to download the Walsh Athletics mobile app. Stay up to date on everything going on across the street here on campus. We are at the tail end of winter sports, jumping into spring sports now. And again, go over to athletics.walsh.edu to keep up to date on everything Walsh Athletics, because right now, today, we are joined by the ladies of the women's lacrosse team at Walsh University, joined by Coach Aaron. Coach Aaron, you brought two of your girls here today that we're going to talk to first. We got three more behind us coming up. And really coming out 1-1 on the season. You guys were able to beat Damon in week 1. You come back, you play a 13th ranked Indianapolis team. What has really been, when you think about the pulse and the fingerprint of this lacrosse team and what the identity will be for the 2024 season, what are some of your expectations and what have you learned about your ladies here in just the early part of the season?
We have a really strong upper class with our 4 seniors and 7 juniors that they really set the tone at practice, trying to keep everyone accountable with that intensity. All they know is winning.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So it's really hard to just kind of come in. We want to set that standard early. And, all of fall we were really preparing for season, kind of setting ourselves up, getting everybody, the underclassmen accustomed to the style and speed of play at the college level and just kind of what we expect out of the girls. And then this season, we had 2 really good tests. We have 1 win under our belt already. And then playing, the top, in the country at number 13. That's a really good test for us, setting us up for not only conference play, but the rest of our season. We have a lot we can build off of, and we have a lot we can learn from both of those games so far.
Rachel, before we jumped on, we got a chance to talk to you. You mentioned you're from upstate New York, and really your background in lacrosse started in 3rd grade. But when you think about when we talked recruiting, going out to the different tournaments, being able to get that exposure, and now, as Coach mentioned, I mean, you've done this thing 3 years in a row. Winning is the standard. It's the expectation. What really was your foundation with lacrosse, and as you brought what your skill set was and your knowledge was out of high school onto campus, what has really kind of allowed you to thrive as your own individual player within this team?
Yeah, I think just coming here my freshman year, we had a lot of good upperclassmen, so just being able to play with them really elevated my game, and it allowed me to become a lot better of a player as well. So.
Isabella, tell us a little bit about your history in lacrosse. How did it all start for you? Where did the passion first really start? And for you, when you thought, okay, here's some different options. If I'm going to do this collegiately, I could go here, I could do this. What steered you towards North Canton and coming on campus here at Walsh University?
So I started lacrosse when I was in 8th grade, kind of as a joke, just to try it out for fun, because I was a competitive swimmer for 14 years, and I wanted to try something else. So it just got sanctioned at my high school camp field when I was a freshman. So I started in 8th grade, and I really fell in love with the sport, and that's when my passion grew. Unfortunately, it kind of stopped because of the COVID year my senior year, but I really wanted to continue. and I was actually in between Findlay and North Canton, which is funny because they are a rival, but I ended up choosing North Canton because it's the spot, and I really liked the culture and the girls that I met on the team and on my overnight. So that's what really veered me closer to North Canton because of the culture that we have on campus and on the team.
Coach Aaron, you were an assistant, obviously now head coach, have had some great years here at Walsh University. What does your history in the sport of lacrosse really look like? I mean, when did it first kind of dawn on you that, you know what, not only I'm sure you were a competitor, but also that you're going to coach these young ladies and really kind of see the development we talk about it all the time, student athlete first, right? To be able to see and put your ladies in a position to be successful in life, but also out here on the field.
So I actually come from the East Coast, Long Island, where lacrosse is a hotbed.
Yeah.
I'm one of 8 kids, and all of us played lacrosse. So
Okay.
it's kind of just a part of the family. I have a sister that coaches, a sister that actually plays at Lake Erie, and all of my other sisters have played at the college level, so it's just kind of a part of the family. I started playing in college in 2013 on Long Island. The school doesn't exist anymore. But just kind of from there, like, I just saw the passion that my coaches had for the game, and I was like, you know, I don't want to stop once I graduate. I want to keep going, and I want to kind of, you know, share that passion with other people that are passionate about it. So after I graduated in 2017, I started putting my application out there, saw Walsh and just saw the success they had before I got here and just wanted to help build off that, saw the potential they had. Got here in 2018, was the assistant for 4 years, and then, you know, after Shields had left, there was the opportunity for me to stay here and take over and kind of start building off of what we did together and just continue to see that success. And I think, you know, the team really kind of backed me when that change happened, and they know that I'm here to support them, and I know that they trust me, and it's kind of just, you know, a big thing of trust with us on the team. You know, they know what I want on the field. You know, I kind of know what to expect out of them, and it's just really a lot of just knowing what we want from each other.
Dive into that a little bit deeper when you talk about some of the coaches that impacted you when you were a competitor at Long Island, when you look at what Coach Shields kind of produced, and when we talk about a fingerprint of what your program and what, you know, Isabella mentioned, the culture of a program. What are some things that you've taken from individuals that have kind of left their impact on you and said, okay, I'm going to use a little bit of this, I'm going to use a little bit of that, and really making this program what the identity of it will kind of be the makeup?
So I actually played Division II as well, so I really want to stay in D2, and that's why I came to Walsh. My assistant coach at Dowling, I was a defender, he was our defensive coach. He really just showed the passion and love he had for the game. That just made us all really excited to be at practice and to learn from him. And that kind of was what sparked and inspired me to become a coach, was his name was Ralph Vigiano, to really just continue and try to get that passion across the same way he was doing. When I got to Walsh, I focused primarily on defense, and when Shields took over, he was focusing primarily on offense, so a lot of my offensive sets I learned from him just because I played defense, so I knew defense really well, and I wasn't as comfortable taking over the offense at first. But kind of learning from him, you know, some of the systems that he had in place we're still running now, and kind of when I took over, there were some things that I saw that we weren't doing that I kind of wanted to add into the sets that we had.
It's funny, it sounds a lot like Coach Salter last week. He said he comes from the defensive background and defensive mindset, and you know, we talked a lot of offensive strategy. Before we do that with Rachel, we're going to sit here and tell you that get behind our great partners here at Walsh University, Huntington Bank, Cleveland Clinic, Mercy Hospitals, Bell Stores, Altman, and also our good friends at the Sam Center. Make sure to check out their new facility up in Canal Fulton, giving back over 13,000 pounds of food to veteran families in need every first and third Friday. So make sure to support serving area military when you can. Okay, Rachel, when you think about strategy, getting out there on the field, you know, you mentioned when you came in as a freshman and you had some upperclassmen that kind of showed you the way, and really when you step out there and talk about your mindset on the field, what are some of your strengths? Tell us about things that you've kind of said, okay, when I got here, I knew I was strong in this area, but I really got to work on this if I want to kind of be one of the, not only a starter, but one of the best in the GMAC. Tell us about what you're studying. Just tell us about what campus life is like for you on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I study psychology and sociology here on campus. Lacrosse-wise, though, I think coming in, I was a very strong cutter. I had good vision. I can see the field pretty well, and I have a good IQ of the offensive background and everything. But I think just coming here, I've really improved on my cutting abilities, catching and finishing, seeing the next girl, open looks. I'd say driving is something I'm kind of not as strong in, that I do need to get better in. But I think one of my main priorities is just working as a team. I think it's really important that we can read our teammates and work well with our teammates, or just kind of playing off of each other is really important. So that's what we're looking to do this year.
Isabella, tell us about what you're studying, and for the backside of what Rachel said there, is the sport of lacrosse, obviously you're going to go out there, everybody has a game plan, right? But is there a lot of freelancing or just kind of improv when you get into a situation? You say, okay, we know each other like the back of our hand because of all the time practicing, all the hours you spend with each other, whatever film study it might be, but you can kind of tell when somebody's going to do something even before they do it, and that's kind of ultimately what leads you to be now 3 times in a row GMAC champs.
Right. So I'm in education. I'm studying here now on campus, and I think my main thing, especially on the offensive side, is chemistry with our team. We have been playing, like you said, it goes into so many hours and so many days that we are working and playing together. Some of us 3 years have been playing together 4 years. So I have personally built great connections with my teammates, and it really shows on the chemistry of the field. So you said improv. We do have plays in place, but most of the time I think we play best when we just work off each other and we are playing to win and playing to have fun. You can always resort back to the plays, but I think we do best when we are freelancing and working off each other, like Rachel said, and really continuing to show and prove our chemistry works really well on the field.
Coach, break down the first 2 games for us. You're sitting here at 1-1. We talked about the win over Damon coming out the blocks, but then you face a tough top 15 team in the country. What things did you learn the most about your ladies when you went back there and watched the film and said, okay, I like what we're doing a lot here, but if we want to continue to raise the bar and be at the top of the conference, here's some things we might have to get better at?
I think the main thing is just staying composed. In that UND game, mostly from there, we kind of went down a little bit early and started to panic a little bit. And I think when we ran our system and worked together on both ends of the field, we had success. But when we started to play a little bit more panicked or individual, wanting to be the hero, that's when we kind of made our mistakes, and they were able to capitalize on that. And again, too, same thing, like we just weren't capitalizing on the mistakes the other teams were making as much. So those are just some things that we're focusing on this week in preparation for our game on Saturday.
Rachel, when you think about the opportunity to come up here and play again on Saturday, you guys are going to travel, but what's it like, being on the road, a little bit more hostility compared to being out here on Larry Stout Field? You have the one thing I've always loved so much about Walsh University athletics is how the other teams always get behind the other sports. The varsity sports just kind of feed off of each other, and they give that energy, and they show up and they support each other. What makes you most excited when you put on the jersey and you go out there on the field and you're getting a chance to compete for Walsh University, and then taking it on the road and trying to be the road warrior?
Definitely the atmosphere here is great. We have a lot of our parents that come and support us, our classmates, everyone. So it's a lot different being on the road. We don't usually have the same amount of support, especially this weekend we're going to Rochester, New York, which is a lot further away from here.
Yeah.
A lot of us are from around this area, so we probably won't have a lot of parents or fans there. But definitely being home is much better than being on the road.
Yeah, Isabella, if you could think like a pinpoint moment for you, when I look back on my days 10 years after graduating from Walsh University, this is going to be one of the top 3 things, whatever might stick out, that just you're never going to forget. It was just a highlight career moment for you. What are some things that kind of stick out to you?
There's a couple for sure, because I was lucky enough to have a lot of good experiences here on the team and on campus in general. But if I were to pinpoint one of them, I think I can go along with most of my teammates when I say this, is definitely when we beat Findlay, which was, I think it was my sophomore year when we beat them. That was the first time in history when we were able to finally beat them and take the win against them, which is something that I look back on a lot, because it took a lot of endurance, it took a lot of dedication to finally pull that out and actually be able to translate what we were thinking and all wanted to do, and translate it and put it into actually doing it and being able to execute.
Coach, shine a little light on these 2 ladies here before we get off and get a chance to talk to 3 more of them. What are some special qualities that have really stuck out to you about them? And when you see them out there competing, knowing that you can rely on them. They've been you're going to have captains, you're going to have senior leadership, but you always have to have a good mix. A lot of that comes down to you, coach, as you're recruiting and who you're bringing in and trying to find. When we talked about, again, Isabella said, culture. Having the right mix of student athletes and girls that are just gonna bond well to each other, and again, you can trust them when you put them out there on the field to compete and carry that standard forward.
Specifically with these two, I mean, Kelty's just kind of one of our main leaders on the offensive end. We're pretty much always on the same page. I go to call a play, and she's already calling the exact play that I was thinking. She's really good at keeping everyone kind of, composed. If we start to kind of get out, she makes sure everyone's resetting and getting the ball working around and kind of just keeping everyone down there. She's like our quarterback on the offensive end. And then when it comes to Rachel, I mean, she's kind of a jack of all trades. We've had her play low, we've had her play outside. This year we're having her work a lot inside, and she's really good at not only setting herself up, but setting her teammates up to get open. Kelty's our main feeder, getting people the ball inside. And Rachel's just really good at seeing whether she needs to be open or if someone else has the opportunity to get open. They're both just really good at seeing and setting each other up.
When you think about the trip coming up here Saturday, rolling up to Rochester, New York, what are some things that have stuck out to you about getting back out and just practicing and saying, hey, listen, we just faced a tough opponent. We're 1-1 on the season. We're 500. We're going to have an opportunity to compete on Saturday. What have been some of the messages this week in practice?
Our main thing is just, coming out ready to go. We want to set the tone early. We don't want to have to respond. We want them to have to respond to what we're doing. So we're really just focusing on coming out hot, setting the tone, getting the ball early, and working our system and not really letting them dictate what's happening on the field.
Nice. Isabella, Rachel, Aaron, appreciate you joining us here on the SMG Network live streams Wednesdays at the Wink, here with the Washington Square Winking Lizard across the street from campus and the Walsh Cavaliers. We'll be back with more after this. We're going to hear from a couple more of the ladies, but again, as we get ready for Saturday, another chance to compete for the Walsh women's lacrosse team. Appreciate you guys joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more after this. Hang on.
At C.H. Vallis & Associates, we've been proudly serving the greater Stark County community for over 78 years. Locally owned, we cover your home, auto, business, and life insurance along with your group benefits. Our partnership with auto owners has allowed us to span not only Ohio, but throughout the entire country. Did you know that Auto Owners, an A++ rated company by AM Best and a Fortune 500 company, has ranked C.H. Vallis & Associates a top 10 insurance agency in the state of Ohio? From your basic home and auto needs to insuring some of the largest companies in America, there's a reason people choose C.H. Vallis & Associates and Auto Owners. Our dedication and passion for our clients and their coverage is part of our commitment to excellence. For all your insurance coverage needs, there's only one call to make, and that's C.H. Vallis & Associates, located at 1302 South Main Street in North Canton. Contact us at 330-494-2776 today and see the difference in customer satisfaction.
The leader in quality drivetrain components, H&H Truck Parts, is a name you can trust. Located in Valley View, Ohio at 5500 South Cloverleaf Parkway, H&H can handle all your heavy-duty truck needs. Come in and exchange your transmission, differential, or power steering gearbox. But that's not all. H&H is equipped to handle all your parts needs. Permco pumps, Muncie PTOs, Neapco U-joints, Spicer yokes, new Eaton clutches, and more. Let the professionals at H&H Truck Parts handle your transmission or differential installation in one of their 6 service bays. Specializing in drivetrain repairs, stop by and have your drive shaft balanced, flywheel resurfaced, or your clutch installed alongside the best transmissions and differentials on the road. You know why they're the best? Because H&H is Ohio's largest purchaser of Eaton Fuller parts. Need a blower or a pump? H&H distributes Paragon and Permco brands. Names you can trust with your livelihood on the road. Call H&H Truck Parts today for the leader in heavy-duty truck parts and service. Call locally at 216-642-4540. Toll free at 800-601-4540 or check them out online at hhtruckparts.com. Welcome back into the Washington Square Winking Lizard Wednesdays at the Wink. I'm TJ Downing for the SMG Network live streams, and we're here across the street from campus, Walsh University, here with our good friends from the Walsh women's lacrosse team. Member Walsh Athletics. Everything you need to know, go to Google Store, Apple Play. Make sure to get the Walsh Athletics mobile app. Go to athletics.walsh.edu and stay up to date on scores, schedules, buy tickets, find out when these ladies will be competing, along with anybody else still playing here in the winter as we transition into spring sports. And ladies, I will think I can get this right here. Mallory, Grace, Sarah, got it right on the first take. Appreciate you joining us here at the Washington Square Winking Lizard. Okay, just got a chance to talk to Coach, got a chance to talk to Rachel and Isabella. You guys are 1-1 on the season. Kind of just chop it around here a little bit. I mean, what were the biggest things that you learned about yourselves, about your team, as you came out the blocks and you were able to beat Damon? Then you fell to a pretty good team in University of Indianapolis last week.
You want me to go
first.
You got it.
Okay. I think that we saw that we still have a lot of work to do, which is completely fine. We're in the beginning of the season. But I also think that a couple of people surprised us with how they played. And personally, I just can't wait to see how they develop throughout this season.
So did they put it to you first because you're like the senior leader?
Probably, yes.
Okay. What grade are you, senior?
I am.
Okay. What are you studying?
I'm studying criminal justice and government foreign affairs.
Okay. Grace, how about you? What are you studying?
I'm sports management and legal studies.
Okay. So you're going to be Greenie's assistant one day?
Maybe.
Mallory, how about you?
I'm a marketing major.
Okay, cool. You're gonna take swords up to the next level.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna market
for
that
sure.
all the way. Tell me a little bit, Mallory, about your history with lacrosse. What got you here to Walsh University? When did lacrosse first become a thing for you? Was it grade school? Was it high school? And where are you from?
So I'm from Central Indiana, about 5 hours from here, and I started playing lacrosse in 8th grade. So still kind of new. I didn't start when I was little, but one of my friends from high school actually got me into it. So that's kind of how I started. Played throughout high school, and our old coach saw me at a tournament, and that's kind of how I ended up here. So yeah.
It was interesting. Rachel kind of said the same thing. She said, she's in upstate New York and she's at a tournament. Is that really kind of where a lot of the recruiting happens for student athletes in college?
I would say so, yeah.
I would agree, yes.
Especially over the summer, I feel like that's big. There's still stuff in the fall, but it's definitely more over the summer that coaches come.
Grace, where are you from?
I'm from West Cleveland, Avon, Ohio.
Okay. So you went to Avon. When did lacrosse really become a part of your life, and really what was kind of your passion that drew you to the sport?
So growing up, my family, we actually moved down south for a little bit. So I lived in Florida and Georgia, and down there in the south, lacrosse is a lot more present than it is here in the Midwest. So I was given the opportunity to play from an early age. I think I started when I was like 8 or 9. And nothing really about the sport. I love playing sports in general, and I tried everything. All my friends were doing it, so my parents just threw me into it. And like from early on, I felt like it was one of the sports I was better at. I thought it was really fun, so I just kind of stuck with it for the rest of my life.
It's crazy. My background is in football, and when I would go out there and cover lacrosse, I thought, the discipline you have to have when you're coming across the middle and somebody's just slashing at you, literally like beating the crap out of you with their stick. The discipline you have to have, and really, talk to me about strategy when you're out there. Coach was telling me that she comes from the defensive background. We talked with Coach Salter last week from the men's team. He said his background is defensively, but when you're thinking about attacking and knowing that you're going to be taking those shots, where does your mindset have to be able to focus through all that?
I think a lot is just keeping your composure. That's something we've really had to focus on this year. I don't know if you know, but we've had a rule change where penalties within the 30-yard lines are going to be a green card, so that wasn't present last year, so we're getting a lot more fouls. You have to keep your composure. You can't really retaliate. We just have to take the hits and kind of roll with it.
Is really that kind of a defensive type thing? You're trying to draw somebody in to just completely losing their mind and take them out of their game, right?
In a sense, yeah. Kind of want to get in their head just a little bit, but also just kind of want to stop them from scoring.
Yeah, you seem like the smack talker of the group. Did I get it right?
No, it's more of her.
No,
Is it really
I think
Mallory's
it's
a smack
both.
talker?
I think it's you and me both. We both have our days.
A lot
I
of
would
yellow
say.
cards between the three
Hey.
of us,
Oh
actually.
boy, love it. Now, when you're on the road, right? You guys are heading out on the road here this weekend. That's kind of like when the smack talking, us against the world type feeling comes into play, right? You're far from home. The energy is going to be against you, and really you go in there and you're trying to show somebody, hey, listen, we can come in here on your turf, handle business, get it done. We're 3-time reigning GMAC champions for a reason. We're bringing our game to you. We're gonna do our game. We're not gonna worry about what you're doing. But how does some of that jaw on when you're on the road? Because that was one of my favorite things to do. When you go on the road, you play somebody, you just want to jaw them. What is that kind of like? Give me a little bit of your smack talking 101 when you're getting ready to take the field this Saturday.
I feel like I don't smack talk all that much unless
just put you on the spot.
Unless it goes downhill, and then I kind of do. But it's more when I get frustrated with myself, I think. So just trying to keep that positive attitude. And it's also hard with away games. You're getting on a bus, you're going somewhere. It's not like you can just come from your dorm or from your house and go and play. So that's also a big part of it.
It's a pretty decent trip you guys are taking this weekend,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
About
yeah.
5-6 hours?
Yep, got to be up at 5:30. I think.
Yeah,
It is.
that's a long bus trip. You know, when you like, this is everybody just kind of relaxing, hanging out on the bus. I mean, you kind of going over any different play sheets, stuff you might be expecting to see. You know, I guess when we talk offense and defensive strategy, every team's kind of different, right? And I talked to Isabella and Rachel about, you know, a lot of times does it become improv or like on the spot, like, hey, we have a plan going in here. This is the offense that we want to set up, but defensively, they did something to, you know, put us in a position where that's kind of been a wash, and now we're just working and feeding off each other, right?
Yeah, for sure. I would say part of playing at this level is just being able to adapt to the other teams. And I would say that even both sides, offense and defense, were like good enough that we can adapt in that moment and make the changes necessary to beat whatever offense or defense.
Wednesdays at the Wink here with Walsh Women's Lacrosse. Make sure to get behind our good friends at Huntington Bank, Bell Stores, Altman, and Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospitals. Also check out the Sam Center serving area military, giving back to our veteran families in need. And again, make sure to download on Google Store, Apple Play. Check out the Walsh Athletics mobile app. Get that on athletics.walsh.edu if you need some more information. And also check in on all the rosters, everything you need, stats, scores, updates, when they will be back here in the confines of their home at Larry Stout Field. Talk about that energy. You know, I talked to the ladies about this, that it's so cool, the vibe that you have with your other varsity sports, because everybody seems to come out and support the others. That's got to be a really cool feeling when you're able to look up in there into the stands and not just see, you know, maybe some parents, some family, some faculty, some fans, but you see your peers that maybe you're going over to Alumni Arena to catch a basketball game, and then they're coming out here in the spring and they're supporting you, watching you handle your business as well. It's a pretty interesting dynamic on campus here, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
I think it helps more when it when it gets sunnier, just
Yeah.
because most of the
Not
sports are
today.
inside, and when it's our season, it's just really everywhere with the weather. But it's nice when we have nicer days to see all those people come out and support us.
Yeah. So, Mallory, tell me about playing a top 15 team this past week. Although it didn't go your guys' way, did you learn a lot about yourselves? I mean, what was kind of the message coming from coach and even just as players on the team? What did you kind of take away from that loss that said, okay, here's what we need to do a little bit different so that we can continue to have the success that we've had here and that you guys have built over the last 3-4 years?
Yeah, I definitely think the loss was harder than we expected it was going to be, but I think it just showed how much we do have to learn, and I think that's kind of what Coach was getting at, is just that it's our second game. We have a lot of progress we have to make, and that's okay. And I think just the big thing, too, was not crumbling as soon as we started to go down, just keeping that energy and staying up. So, yeah, definitely some things to work on, but
for the three of you, I'll let you answer from Sarah all the way down. When you think about your time here at Walsh University, when that's all said and done, because, I mean, I can tell you, I'm coming up on 40 years old, and it feels like an eternity, almost a decade and a half since I played college sports, but it goes by so quick. When you picture yourself 10 years removed, whatever it might be, you're teaching, sports management, marketing, whatever it is, what are going to be some of your best memories? If you could pick out like a highlight moment, obviously you guys have had a lot of them, right, with the success you've had over the last 3 years in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. From Sarah down, like, give me that highlight moment for you that would just, that's when somebody asks me 10 years from now about women's lacrosse, playing for Walsh University, that's that number one moment to you.
For me personally, my number one moment would be last year's GMAC win, just because it was way more intense than the ones previously. We unfortunately were really close with the score, and the energy from our fans, from our sideline on the field, it was just all amped up, and it was just such a nice feeling to actually win, but at a close score. So it was nice to see that competition and for us to come back on top again.
For you?
Yeah, GMAC championships are always a good one.
I mean, when you've got 3 of them in your back pocket now, it's like we got options here.
Yeah, those are always the best. And then I would also say our senior day, we have senior day, and then afterwards we usually get a little tailgate or something. We all hang out together as a team, and you kind of just thankful for your seniors and everything, and like you're getting ready for playoffs. I think that's always a really fun day for all of us.
You guys stop by the Washington Square Winking Lizard after senior day?
I think we do
think
sometimes.
They,
yeah.
they got a spot.
Yeah.
They got a booth reserved for you.
Yeah.
How about for you?
Definitely the GMAC wins. Hard to top that. But last year we had a big game against IUP that we won in double overtime. And all of that energy, I think that was like midway through the season. And that's kind of, we just took that energy and ran with it. And I think we carried it throughout the rest of our season in the GMAC.
So Isabella was dropping a little bit of Finley action on us.
Yeah.
So is that like,
that's also a big one.
is that when you think about a main rival, obviously with Malone being down the street and the Mayor's Cup, all that kind of goes into what would you call it, a 5 mile away rivalry inside of the GMAC. Is Finley kind of the next one right there for you guys where it's like, okay, have they kind of been right behind you guys when you talk about the pecking order of the GMAC?
I would almost say yes in the past couple of years, but now I would almost say Ashland's coming up.
Okay.
And I know when we play them, there's a lot of emotion involved. So I would say that both of those two teams are probably our biggest rivals, yes.
So when you think, Sarah, of the identity or what you want people to remember about the 2024 Walsh women's lacrosse team, because you're the leader now, right? They've already designated you as the leader. You answered the first question. So when you want people to look back and say, okay, there's still a lot of lacrosse to be played. Championships will decide themselves at a later date, but everything that leads up to that moment, staying focused, staying locked in, obviously you got to handle the student side of things. One goes with the other, student athlete, but for you to think about all the work that's gone in and still left to be played out, what do you want people to know most about the 2024 Walsh women's lacrosse team?
I think as of right now, I want our identity to be that we're still here and we're still on top. We lost a lot of players this past year just from graduating or transferring, and those were good players, and we got a good amount of freshmen this year, and I just feel like our identity is that we're still here, even though we lost a good amount of people that we liked and needed. And we're still going to go throughout this season like they hadn't left. So just strong and going through it.
Mallory, what is maybe the chemistry or dynamic on the team when you hear what she just said, knowing you have to replace all of these senior leaders, these upperclassmen who have led us and shown us the way to 3 championships, back to back to back, and now you have to bring in a lot of freshmen, and then that big job is on you 3 right here to, pay forward what you were given by those other athletes. How much of a challenge has that been?
It's definitely been a challenge, but I think we have been blessed with such good upperclassmen in the past, and they've set an expectation that I think we've been trying to follow. And having such a smaller team this year, I think we're very close, and so I think it's easy for us to kind of set those expectations and stick with them.
Well, I will sit here and say that we've been blessed by greatness here today, as long as you make it 4 in a row. If it's 4 in a row, then it's greatness. So any final thoughts, Grace, for you for the 2024 team?
I mean,
For all the underclassmen listening out there right now, you can shoot them a little bit of a message. Time to pick it up.
Well, I'm thankful to have them, and I think, there's a lot of opportunity for everybody on this team, and hopefully it will take us to a 4th one.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you, ladies. I know that we'll be following along. We'll be here to support you, promote you any way that we can here at SMG Network, and we always appreciate being with Walsh Cavalier Athletics. I mean, you guys just the energy on campus, across the street, everything that's going on from starting in the fall to winter into spring, which I'm with Sarah here. I'll just take the nice weather. It's always nice being out at the field when it's a little bit warmer out. So we got a crappy day today, but I've been blessed to be able to talk to you ladies here and really find out the pulse and the dynamic of this Walsh Cavalier lacrosse team. The women joining us here at Wednesdays at the Wink. I appreciate you. Sarah, Grace, Mallory, here on the SMG Network live streams powered by TKDS Sports. Remember, download the Walsh mobile app, Walsh Mobile Athletics app. You can get everything you need to know, scores, schedule, buy tickets, get stats, find out how many goals Mallory scored or how many yellow cards combined between the two. Not Grace. She plays by the rules. But everything you need to know about Walsh Women's Lacrosse, you can get there at athletics.walsh.edu or go to Google Store and Apple Play, and make sure to check out the Walsh Athletics mobile app. All right, our good friends at Huntington Bank, Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospital, the Sam Center, Altman, and Bell Stores, we thank you. Thank you to my girl Christina Payon and Greeny, always taking care of their student athletes. They are the best at what they do. And to our good friends, the Walsh Cavaliers Athletics, and also Walsh University. Hey, we always got to say it. Swords up, right?
Swords up.
Best of luck to you ladies this weekend. They'll be getting after it. Make sure to check them out on the Great Midwest Digital Network. TJ Downing for the SMG Network live streams here at Wednesdays at the Wink, Washington Square, Winking Lizard. Stop out and see them, patronize them. Appreciate them always having us here as we bring you another episode here on campus with the Walsh Cavaliers. Till next time, so long. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Cackley Insurance is a locally owned home, auto, and life insurance specialist located in Cuyahoga Falls at 619 Portage Trail. Cackley Insurance puts their clients first, and as an independent agent, they are proud to serve their community. As a proud supporter of high school athletics in the community, give Cackley Insurance a call today at 330-929-6006 or visit them online at cackleyinsurance.com. That's K-A-C-K-L-E-Y insurance.com. And thank you for your support of Stark Media and high school athletics around the area. You came to Stark Media for the best? Well, now you got it. Check out Lindsay's Pizza on 2827 Whipple Avenue Northwest inside of the Hillsdale Shopping Center. The preferred post-game pizza of the Stark Media team is open until 11 p.m., and it has all the essentials for game day. Pizza, chicken, salads, and sandwiches are just a click away at lindsayspizza.com. But you should trust the former Ohio State All-American and just call them right now at 330-477-3800. 477-3800. This is TJ Downing for Lindsay's Pizza, and I approve this message.